with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler, brought to you by Paranormal Inc., right here on WLFE DB Radio.
What's up, y'all? Hey, happy Sundays. Happy Sunday.
4 days till Halloween.
Woohoo! And 3 days till my birthday. Yay.
4 days till Halloween.
And 4 days till Halloween. See, I was born the day before Halloween. Now you know why I'm so cute.
You kind of got that whole jack-o'-lantern look going on.
Yeah, when I was born, my mom said, what a treasure. My dad said, yeah, bury it. But So, we had some fun last night.
Yeah, for those that wasn't with us, we were in York, Pennsylvania, investigating the Princess House.
Yeah. So, let me do this. I'm going to actually put the logo up right now, up at the top, right up there. If you guys want tickets to this, we still have some left on our November 9th event. But
at this point, I think we have maybe 6 or 7 left.
Maybe.
You'll have to contact Laura.
But we're going to, before our special guest comes on, we're going to kind of let you know what happened there. So Ernie and I went in very skeptical. This is a private residence that we were having a public investigation at. And we kind of went,
And it's unoccupied. It's a vacant.
So
home.
We get there early. First thing Ernie and I do is we walk through and clear from any squatters in case there's anybody who's broken in and hanging out there. So we cleared it out. Haley got there, and so we're kind of getting set up and kind of getting around. And I'm outside for a moment.
If you want to make it like a little easier, so to speak, when we first arrived there yesterday, when Haley got there, Haley and I did a preliminary walkthrough, and she did like a brief reading on the place.
Yep, that's on our Facebook Live.
On Paranormal Inc. We did a live walkthrough.
We also talked to the neighbor next door who happened to come out and want to talk to us, and she kind of gave us the background of the person who was there prior. She was there about 2 years ago. So about a year before that, she came running out of her house, apparently thinking somebody's breaking into her house or something to that effect, and got hit by a motorcycle. Thereafter, she's living in the house, and she starts to go stir crazy to the point where she runs out of the house naked. She thinks people are after her, and she went utterly for a loop.
Well, the thing that made it much more intriguing, no one, including Laura, had really any information on this house. It was just purchased by Laura's business partners. So during the reading, you can watch the video, but Haley immediately was picking up on a male dominant presence on the second floor hallway.
Right.
Now, when you go down the hallway, there's a bedroom. She picked up on an elderly woman spirit there.
And she's saying they don't know each other.
Right. It's a whole different time parameter. They're not even aware each other's there. Now, the funny thing is, before we spoke with the neighbor, Haley was emphasizing a little bit on the male spirit. And she said it's somewhat forceful, not evil, and can make you feel certain things, make you do certain things. At some point, if you have enough exposure, can make you go crazy. Shortly after, when Dave started talking to the next door neighbor, after the elderly lady that owned the house came back from the hospital from recuperating from getting hit by a motorcycle, she started to go crazy.
Yep.
Now, as an elderly person, I mean, that's absolutely natural. Some people, as they get older,
it happens,
lose their marbles a little bit. But I just found it was pretty funny that it lined up exactly with what Haley picked up on.
Exactly. Now, one of the things is, during our preliminary sweep, we did find some high EMF in certain places, which could attribute to some stuff. But we had several experiences.
The first being was when, right after we did the live video, you were downstairs. I believe Haley was down there with you. I was halfway up the staircase, and which put me head level with the second floor banister.
Landing, yep.
And I was just standing there quiet, getting a feel for the place. I was listening to you speak downstairs, but I heard a male, either like a loud gasp or sigh in my ear.
Yep.
Then, if you remember, Dave, you and I and Haley were upstairs walking that hallway.
Before that, I went up because you guys were behind me downstairs.
Right.
I got about halfway up because I thought what I thought was a shadow right here. And so I'm walking up the steps listening, and right to my right I heard...
Right. But when,
and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. And I'm like, go ahead, Ernie. You go right in.
When the three of us got up there, when we were approaching what we believe was the elderly lady's bedroom,
yep.
all three of us heard the same
thing.
The same gasp, which absolutely amazing.
It really is.
And see, the good thing with the house being vacant, we had that house completely locked down.
Mm-hmm.
We made sure that the doors were dead bolted. The majority of the windows are completely sealed due to time and paint, and there was nothing, no nothing. So, and fortunate, since it's an older house, them walls are thick.
Yep.
So we had no contamination from the elderly lady next door who said she goes to bed early.
Yep.
And everything was sealed in. So we had really the only outside contamination, if you're downstairs in the main room, occasionally you'll hear a car go by, which we would tag when it went by. But other than that, man, it was like you were sealed into a bunker.
Yeah.
It really was.
Now, here's the thing that got me. So we're upstairs on the second floor. All of us are pretty much in the old lady's room. I'm sitting right by the doorway, which is here, and I can see down the hallway this way. We have a motion sensor in the doorway. Now, going down the hallway, the first thing you're going to come to is there's a bathroom here on your left. There's another bedroom on your right that actually leads back into another door in the bedroom.
It parallels the hallway.
And it just parallels it. And then there's a bedroom straight back at the end of the hallway down here, straight ahead. So I'm on the floor. We're looking down the hallway. And I have an audio clip. And I'm hoping this comes through as clear as it is here. But you guys, if you can get into a quiet area, turn your phone all the way up. You're going to hear Ernie talk for a couple seconds. And he says, nobody's going to hurt you, literally, or whatever, however he says it. Right after the word he says there, listen close. And I'm watching the text here.
Now, let people know this. We did capture this on the voice recorder, but we also heard it with our own ears. It wasn't something that we had to go back and
no, and we caught it on audio very clearly. And everybody, you'll hear the reaction of everybody in the room when it happens. I'm going to play this I'm going to play it twice. It's a 30-second clip. If you guys can hear it, let me know in chat that you hear what I'm saying. And tell me what you hear.
He's not going to hurt you while we're here. Utterly.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Was that downstairs?
No, it's right here.
No, that was right here. Oh shit!
What?
What? Can you make a noise for us?
What do you got, Nate?
That door.
This door just opened. It moved. I watched it move. Now I'm going to do that again, but I want you guys to hear it. It says when he goes utterly, you hear something, and then right after that, you hear me react, and I go running down the hall to see it, and I actually can see the door moving still. But before I said anything, Andrew Darling, love you, bro, behind me, actually says it before I say it. We'll play it one more time.
He's not going to hurt you while we're here. Utterly.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Was that downstairs?
No, it's right here.
No, that was right here. Oh shit!
What?
What? Can you make a noise for us?
What do you got, Nate?
That door.
This door just opened. It moved. I watched it move.
You can hear Andrew in the background say the door moved.
Yep.
But to set that up, just prior to that door moving, if you remember, Haley said I'm sensing the male in the hallway.
Absolutely.
I responded by saying, if you're in the hallway, continue down and walk toward my voice.
Yep.
At that point, the motion detector that was facing the other direction came on and went right
off.
back off.
Yep.
Which it doesn't do because it's set on a 30-second. Once it lights up, it takes 30 seconds.
Yep.
At that point, we heard like a creaking, which got everyone to go like this.
Look down the hallway.
When they looked down the hallway and lit it up, the door, the door creaking because it was moving.
Yep.
And they actually saw that. And in the background of that audio, you hear Andrew say, the door's moving.
Yep.
Or I saw it, or whatever he said.
And that's why I was looking. And it moved from about this position to about that far, and we watched it.
Now, keep in mind, immediately after we took like 20 minutes, I had 2 of the guests with me. They sat in the room, and I tried everything imaginable to naturally recreate that door moving.
Gotta debunk it.
It was an old door, and
It
it didn't take much to shut it.
Mm-hmm.
However, walking up and down the steps, which no one did,
Nope.
jumping up and down, running by it, whatever, would not move that door.
And it actually happened again later on in the evening. While
Only after it was asked, would you do that again?
Yep.
And he did it again on command.
Yep. Also, when we came up, you guys were still upstairs. Most of the guests had left already. I think there was only 2 guests still upstairs with you guys. And you had a ball sitting on top of the steps.
Yeah.
And we got to the bottom of the steps to come up to you guys. And pardon the camera moving. I think my dog... Was that you? No,
it wasn't.
Was that the cat?
No.
What the hell was that?
And my little short leg don't
No.
reach that far.
My dog's over there.
Yeah, Rose is right here. I don't know.
Did you just see the cat?
I saw it. I watched it. That's why I went like this and pointed.
We're going to have to Okay, that's the dog. That one was the dog.
No, Rose was laying right here because she was actually brushed up against my boot.
Oh, and the other thing is, I want you guys to notice. Notice we're good height now. I bought new chairs for us. But continue on. So they had a rubber ball at the top of the steps, and we came up, and Grace and I were coming upstairs, and it was downstairs. So I just grabbed it and said, "Hey, did you guys leave this downstairs?" You're like, "No, we left that at the top of the steps." And we just asked them to push it down steps.
What happened was, Haley had set the ball. We had shut the door. She asked if whomever was up there if you could push the ball down, and like 2 minutes later is when Dave discovered it was down.
Hey, Des, I certainly hope not. She asked us, did we bring something back with us? I've actually been having, and I've been telling Ernie for the last few weeks.
I brought him back with us.
I've been having a couple weird things happen in the house. I'll hear noises in my kitchen when I'm here by myself. I've had a cabinet open. Things come out of my cabinet. I actually heard a, "Hey, Dave," from my kitchen the other day. I have if you actually could see behind the box, behind the camera here, I have a stairway that goes down, and I have a box set up that blocks the cat from going down there. I don't want the animals down there. I heard something that sounded like stepping up the steps a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden the box went flying. So I'm not sure if it's my grandfather or something else. I've had another young lady, I know Lori was on the show, and you can probably see it on our past video, saying it was a young man from earlier in my life. I've actually made peace with him, so I don't think it's him. I think it's my grandfather. But he kind of lets me know he's here now and again.
Now, the little bit of evidence we just talked about and showed everyone, that's just things, because we haven't had a chance to review. I mean, we just got home late last night, early this morning.
Yep.
So we still have everything to go through. That's just stuff we knew we captured.
Yep.
And, I mean, the personal experiences... Look what happened when we left.
Yeah.
Everybody was gone. Myself, Dave, and Haley was in the main room, and we just had that little dim lights on. Before I was getting ready to cut them off. And
Let's say goodbye.
I heard that exhale again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, there it is again. Well, Haley started telling the spirits goodbye.
Yep.
And when she yelled, okay, we're leaving, whatever, goodbye.
We all heard.
You heard goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah. To me, it sounded like it come through directly above me through the floor. You all said it sounded like by the steps.
Yep.
But that was definitely disembodied. I mean, we heard that. Everything was packed away.
Yeah, and we verified there was nobody left in the house because we locked it up afterwards.
And if they are, they're still locked in.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then the fun part of the rest of the night is we're driving along and we see a police car we see another police car, and all of them have their lights on. Another police car, and Ernie and I were kind of joking along, going, "Wonder what's going on." And as we came around the corner on Queen Street, I ran into my first DUI checkpoint ever. I've been on the working end of it before. I've never been on this end.
If I would have had a piece of paper or cardboard, I would have scribbled down like I'm being held against my will.
Help me.
And held it up so he could see it.
Oh my God, we play stunts on each other, have some fun.
But we're looking forward. We're going back. We're doing a second public investigation, like he mentioned a few minutes ago, on Saturday, November 9th at the Prince's house again.
If you want tickets, right here, www.yorkghosttours.com/events. And that's a plural, EVENTS, events.
Definitely, even if you can't make it to our event there, contact Laura about if you have your own group or whatever you want to get in there, because like I said, I personally wasn't, and I mean that's a good thing because I never expect nothing.
Yeah, we came in completely
we
skeptical.
Were like, I don't really think this is going to be much. Now, to my surprise, when we actually got in the place, it was a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
You said you kind of figured it was about that size, but what I liked about it, and I was talking to Dave Haney from KSPS earlier.
Dave.
What's up, Dave? For those of you that know, I started writing a book, and the beginning of the book takes place in the very early 70s, and
Flower power.
I start giving our ages. I start talking about my great-grandmother's house and experiences there. That house put me in mind of my great-grandmother's house, because that house, I believe, was built in 1890, Haley said.
1890. Now, the thing is, the light switches weren't the up-down. They were literally push-button switches.
And that's the same light switches at my grandmother's.
They were old.
Both my great-grandmothers had those light switches. It was one above the other, and you have to click it in.
And you have to push it hard to get it in.
And that was, I haven't seen them, man, since my great-grandmother's house when I was, under 10 years old. So that was pretty cool.
We are about that time where we need to contact our special guest. So I'm going to let him work on that real quick, and I'm going to babble for a few moments.
Our special guest is the author of this book.
Give me that.
Right there. He is actually author of several books. He's a paranormal investigator and owner of the haunted Hinsdale House in New York State, Mr. Daniel Klaes.
All right, so let's get him on.
And I'm going to give Dan a call now, and we will get him live on the line with us.
All right. And
I've been looking forward to this one, man.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to talking to Dan, too, because I got lots of questions.
Hello.
Mr. Klaes.
We are live, sir. How are you?
We're live on what?
We're live on the air.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
We're live and wild, brother.
This is Publishers Clearinghouse. We are live on the air.
I logged in, and the first thing I heard is that your ball was touched, and I was like, shit.
We told you should have came down here with us, man. Hey,
I know.
before we get to the good stuff, man, I saw some of the photos a few minutes ago, and how did the pumpkin carving go?
The pumpkin carving was a success. I found a pumpkin that had a little crease in it for myself, and it could have either been an ass. I decided since I had children around, it would be boogers coming from a nose.
Right. I saw the pictures, man. It looked like you guys were having fun.
We do that every year. We go to my wife's mother's house, and her pumpkins, and the kids have a blast with it, and then we line them all up, and she always makes like apple crisp or something, so that makes it even more worthwhile.
You just saved us some time and answered my next question. I was going to ask, since it's a Halloween celebration, what kind of treats and goodies did we have? So you already answered that. Dan, we want to jump right in, man. We've been waiting.
We've been itching for this.
We've been waiting to talk to you, and during our event last night, we was telling everybody, that you're going to be on, and everyone's so excited. And just to set it up real quick, for those of you that don't know, Dan purchased the haunted Hinsdale house in,
New York,
I believe, June of 2015. Am I correct?
That's correct.
See, I got a good memory and proof that I read your book. But I understand? I know your whole background, Dan, and but how did it come to be that for you to purchase that?
How do you buy a haunted house? Especially one that failed an exorcism.
I mean, I guess it was a whole lot of luck and things just falling into place because I didn't know for sure if it was going to happen or not. I had just purchased my house, a brand new house with my family 2 weeks prior to that.
Wow.
And there was a big chance that I wasn't going to be able to get it, but for some reason it feels like I was meant to have the location, like it was meant to be because things happened for me that normally wouldn't happen as far as like getting a loan and getting enough funds to get the deposit for the location.
Right. Wow.
And even then, so when I got enough for the $10,000 deposit to put down on it, I remember thinking, well, how the hell am I going to be able to fix this roof? How am I going? I don't have any more money. Like I am done.
Right.
I was basically taking it all out, and everybody always talked about the negative and the paranormal and people, things like that. This is such a positive story, and it's just it's where the paranormal community comes together,
right,
as one, and takes down the barriers of the team names, and everybody is just friends, and comes together on a Saturday afternoon, 63 people, and brings supplies and pitches in and paints and scrapes and
right,
and helps get the supplies for the roof, and it was just amazing to me,
right,
for that to happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I remember standing in front of the place before I went to go find the mortgage and thought, what the hell am I doing?
Now
there's 4 foot of high grass. There's so much crap needed to be done to that place.
What is, prior to purchasing the Hinsdale, what was your prior experience with it, or what? I mean, what?
Your paranormal background.
With the house itself. I mean, what led you up to that point with being interested in it?
For my team itself, I was kind of like the case manager. I would always get the information on the locations that we were going to, and I would brief the team on anything that we had found as far as research goes that may be causing some of the hauntings. And this particular case, I didn't have anything to do with. That's the funny thing about it. I had nothing in my co-founder of the group, Cameron. He is the one that booked this location, and he's the one that said, don't research anything. I'm going to brief everybody when I get there.
Right.
And I just remember, the first thing he had us do when we sat down in that house was watch the episode of A Haunting in Dark Forest, which was based on the story of this house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I remember looking at him and thinking, you mother effer, you didn't think it would be proper to kind of brief us mentally for coming here. There was a failed exorcism in this freaking house that we're sitting in right now.
Surprise!
And, yeah, surprise. So, but I mean, that night, after I got all that anger out, you don't want to get angry at the house. You want to kind of to ground yourself and get ready for the investigation. And we had such amazing spirit communication, and it felt like what was ever there wanted to let us know it was there, and it was trying to communicate with us, and I felt like there was a message. You guys know, and everybody that's probably listening, watching the show, when you go investigating, that there's no guarantee. There's not a guarantee you're going to get a K2 hit. There's not a guarantee you're going to get an EVP.
Right,
absolutely.
House, that night, we were everything. We were getting everything. We didn't have to tell the spirits how to use the equipment. It was like they just knew. And they're like, okay, this is old. Let's move on. We need to be able to tell our story here. We need you to figure this out. Right. And I felt like drawn to it, and I continued to come.
Well, see, that's exactly what I think too, Dan. Certain ways I think about things, this is a hell of a comparison, but if you go to a dog pound to shop for a dog, I think the dog chooses you. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same in certain situations, like you're saying with the Hinsdale house. I think I believe in fate. I believe in everything happens for a reason. At the time, you're not supposed to know why, but the big picture, you'll figure it out. And I think that's, in listening to what you're saying, I do believe that's what happened. It's like a greater cause or a greater good of why that house has chosen you to, to do everything that you've done.
And you've done nothing but good things for it.
And it's funny, too, because Clara Dandy, she feels like the house chose her back in the 1970s. Nick Groff feels like the house chose him to come there. You know, Nick's cousin felt, you know, it just, like, Nick's cousin was from San Jose, 2 blocks away from where Clara Dandy moved. In San Jose after she left the Hinsdale house. It's just like all these synchronicities falling into place.
Yeah.
You know,
that was amazing when Nick was there, though. You know what I mean? That whole story with that was really cool.
Now tell us about the failed exorcism. Give us the history on that for the people who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so this family, the Dandy family, that lived there 1970 to 1974, they had 4 children, and they thought that they had found their forever home, basically. They lived in Buffalo, and they were moving to peace and quiet, and anybody that's ever been there knows that this house is in the middle of nowhere, you know, on a hill. It's just, you know, it can be beautiful. It can be deceiving. But they started having occurrences at the house, you know, let it be UFO or some type of cryptid creature in the backyard, or seeing shadow figures and different entities. And then it started affecting them physically. Poltergeists in the house, things flying off shelves. The kids actually used a Ouija board in 1973, trying to figure out what was going on in there, and the planchette flying off the board. And then something that on a little statue of Mary that was sitting on the shelf was flying off the shelf.
Right.
Wow.
And I mean, there were things going on in this house that they couldn't explain, and it's embedded in the soil. You know, it's not just the house. I feel like it's land. And I feel like the house is just on was placed there.
Now
things started happening. You know.
Because forgive me, I can't remember the name of the show. But the team was there, and I remember it was very cold out at the time, and they investigated inside as well as outside. Now, the evidence that people are collecting or gathering on the outside, is it basically the same that's going on inside the house? Is it one and the same, or do you think it's, you know, 2 separate things?
I think some of it can be the same. You know, I believe that there are some spirits on the outside that you're getting on the inside, but it definitely feels different as well. It feels like there's a different energy on the outside. There's a different energy in the woods. There's a different energy by the pond. And you know, there's a lot that we're going to be doing. You know, I'm going full fledged with this. You know, and Nick's been helping. You know, we're getting funding together so we can actually end up doing, hopefully, some ground penetrating radar on the property.
Nice.
Get some answers to some of the folklore stuff that's going on there.
Right.
Dive the pond. You know, there's going to be a lot that we're doing. So, you know, I'm all in on this place.
How long
I want to find the answers out.
How long did the home sit vacant, Dan, before you bought it in 2015?
The last family that lived there was the Misnick family in 1986.
Wow.
So it sat vacant for quite some time.
Oh, wow.
I mean, hence it needed a new roof. There was bees that took over the one room in the house.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And then black mold. I mean, there was just the doors were always left wide open. Nobody would take it, and that's why they were going to tear it down.
Wow.
Now, when people come up to investigate it, or I know, oh my goodness, how many shows have filmed there, but what's some of the evidence that's been collected outside on the land?
Well, I'll make reference to my friend Jeff Fentz from Columbus, Ohio. He's a gentleman that I respect very highly, and he is very involved with making boxes for. You guys might have saw the one that Charlotte had at Gettysburg Bash. The case of that box, right?
Right.
He takes wood from haunted locations that may have stored energy in these woods, and he takes them, what would be thrown out, and turns them into these beautiful cases for spirit boxes that make these spirit boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff comes out to the house, and he's drawn to the woods the first time he comes there, and he's just infatuated with the place, and he asked when he came back, he was going to actually stay in the woods and do some experimenting with different light spectrums.
All right.
On taking raw photography. And when he got to the red light spectrum, he's taking pictures in the tree, and he catches this creature up in the trees, about 10 foot into the tree, that we can't explain what the hell it is. We don't know exactly what it is. Nobody can really. The only one that's ever been able to say something was Chris Sutton, who's a shaman, and he immediately said it's a puckwudgie.
Wow.
You know, and which is a type of cryptid from the Northeast.
Right.
Which, I mean, theoretically could make sense, you know, with the Indian lore to the land and the things that we found up there, and the type of, you know, the drum beats and the flute and the chanting that we get coming from the forest. It makes a lot of sense to me that it could possibly be something like that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I still, you know, I look at that picture and I think cartoon character, you know, with the big eyes. And
Yeah.
I showed you guys that picture before, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now,
yeah,
Dan, when people are investigating inside, I know this is a very broad question, but you know, like certain locations that, you know, we are at a lot for events or public investigations, we somewhat know who we're dealing with or how many spirits may be there. Are you aware of, you know, who possibly is at the Hinsdale house, or do you feel that it's spirits coming and going, or, you know what I mean, just a broad generalization of, you know, what do you think's going on?
There are some that come quite often that are captured by different teams, and we believe that one is a spirit of a young boy by the name of Alfred Warren Emerson that died in 1947.
Wow.
Because many have captured this young boy, and basically he had died playing on a buzzsaw behind the barn on the property. There was a chain snap and cracked him in the head and killed him. Now, I don't know why he would want to roam the property, but I feel like things are drawn there.
Okay.
There's definitely an influx of different spirits that we, you know, I always tell the teams, I go, if you can get names, please write them down for me, because I want to take the names and put them according to what history I have to see if it fits into any of the stories or the eras.
Right.
But there's a lot of folklore. You know, there's a lot of folklore too. So, I mean, there's folklore of these two guys that lived in the house that were murdering, raping, and stealing, pillaging from people that were coming through on the stagecoach trail, and burying their bodies out on the hill and storing them in the house during the winter.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, you know, if there's any truth to that folklore, I mean, some of these names and stuff that we're getting would make sense, I guess, in a way, if we can find bodies on the property.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's like a puzzle. You got to put it
Right.
together. Right now, the only thing that I do know is that there were two gentlemen that originally built the house
Right.
that I didn't know about originally.
When was that house built?
1853.
Wow.
Part of it, and then the second part of it was built 6 years later.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Sweet.
Now, we'll be at February. We're going to come up to
Rochester.
Yeah, the Rochester event. Hopefully, we will be able. How far from where the Rochester event, Dan, is the Hinsdale house?
An hour, not too bad.
Okay.
An hour is like a bleep in time for paranormal investigators.
Right.
You travel for what, 8-10 hours just to go in the dark for 20 minutes and stay freezing, and then come back in the car for 10 more hours. And,
I know.
You know.
And those of us that have a phobia of flying, that doesn't help the cause any. So I have to.
No, I got over that real quick.
I have to definitely.
Yeah, you've been bouncing around like a rubber
ball. You
ball.
want to know what I did to get rid of my phobia?
What's that?
Of flying.
What's that?
I took skydiving lessons, went up into the plane, and jumped out of it.
You jumped out of a perfectly good aircraft.
Yes.
2 words for you, sir. Hell no!
That's one way of...
I don't mind flying, but no, I'm not... No, I went parasailing once. Nope.
I'm going to be 51 years old, and I have never... Well, I've been on a plane one time, but I don't remember. When I was a child, my father took me to one of those sky parks where they fly you around for 20 minutes. Fortunately, I was too young to remember, but I'm going to be 51 years old. I have never been on a plane. So
you will this February.
Yeah, well, I'll probably drive up.
No, you won't.
I don't know, but
I got a cough and I can stick you in.
yeah, that's I don't,
Just drug them and get them on there.
Well, that's funny you say that because we were when we were at the bash, I was talking to Porter about the whole flying thing and this and that, and he was getting a kick out of it, and he's like, well, there's two options. You can either drink when you get on the plane or go see a doctor and they'll give you medication.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I don't drink alcohol, and I'm not a big fan of taking medication. So for right now, I'll continue driving. But maybe one day I'll get over that phobia. Because a fear is such, and you may know what I'm talking about, Dan, or I don't know if you're just joking, about the whole flying, but a fear is so much different than a phobia. You know what I mean? The fear is something you can overcome. I guess you can a phobia, but it's so much more deep-rooted, and I don't know where it came from. Because as a child, I was never scared of heights, none of that stuff, and I can't.
Maybe in your past life, you were Richie Valens.
You never know, man. But it's to the point where if I'm watching a TV show and they're doing something up high and like the camera pans down, I can feel myself getting sick or very anxious
You're
just by watching it. Yeah, it's bad.
See, in a plane though, you're concealed. You can just slide that window down. It just feels like you're on a buggy.
And I don't do cruise ships. I've never been on a cruise. They Twisted invited me to come along with them on that haunted cruise celebration
Yeah,
thingy.
I'm gonna be on that.
Yeah, and there's no possible. I would get in a plane before I'd get on a cruise ship.
I did my cruise 1984 to 1988. It was called the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, I definitely, if I can't drive, I'll watch the live video when it's posted.
I'll get them to fly up with us.
Dan, what's coming up for the Hinsdale house, brother?
Well, we're continuing our tours. We do this is a busy season for us. I did 4 tours last week, and then 1 at the Statler. We have tours coming up again next weekend, and then through the second weekend of November, all public tours that we're doing on Sundays. We have one next Friday that's sold out, and after that, it's basically just going to be teams researching it, continuing the research there every weekend. So we've done a lot of work on it this summer, a ton of work. We got a new driveway installed in the back behind the house where there's a hill.
Mm-hmm.
To get to the forest. It got quite slippery, and it gets slippery. And I've seen enough people fall, including myself, with the Geo box in my hand, to know that I needed to do something about that. So we stepped it. I brought a what do you call those?
Landscaper.
Arms to lift. Yeah, something. We put steps up in there.
Yeah.
We got railroad ties and granite.
There you go.
We stepped it so people won't fall anymore.
Okay.
We're fixing the irrigation around the pond so people can walk around the whole pond.
Oh, nice.
Started excavating. We probably got about 7 acres, cut down so people can actually walk on the property itself, except for just what was around the house.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So we've just been plugging away at it. We're getting insulating the floorboards right now underneath the house in the basement.
Right. Do you think by you purchasing the house, did that kick the activity up or make it, increase the activity, or what do you think?
A lot of people ask me that question, and because of how active it was and is, I don't see an upswing to it. Really, just they're there. They're always there. And they're making their presence known all the time, whether we're doing work on it or not. I feel like the improvements that we made, they're happy with. I feel like, we've been able to prolong the inevitable what was happening to that house was getting torn down and demolished. So, and then it would have been forgotten. The story would have been forgotten, and the story that's to come would have been forgotten, and it would have just been another torn down location.
Now, so to let people know, you have static cams set up in the house. I've been watching the static cams for months, and I love it when you just suddenly see something move when you know nobody's in the house.
Oh yeah, or hear something.
Yep.
And it's cool now too. I've been up either Verizon or there's a cable provider in that area to put the cable up, to put the fiber up, because all I had was satellite, and they finally came through for me. I have like 20 times the speed that I had with the satellite, what I have with the satellite now. The
Awesome.
cameras are so fast, and now people, when they get up there, they can stream a lot better with the Wi-Fi, and it's good.
Yeah, I'm a network nerd by trade, so that you're geeking me right now. So,
If anybody listening,
I mean,
Dave's following the message board. If anybody has any questions for Dan, feel free. While we got him on the line here.
what were you gonna say, Dan?
I know they were watching the feed. I keep it up on my YouTube page, but they were watching the feed. Rosa was watching the feed last week, and in the kitchen, and we have a doll that was there during the 1980s, during the Misnick family, that was known to move on its own. And she sent me the clip of this doll's head moving on its own inside the display case.
Yes.
You know, it's like it happened on camera.
You know, it would have been cool because you said that it was last occupied, what, 85 or 86?
86, yeah.
Imagine if we just had snippets of video just throughout the years while it's set unoccupied for so long. Just imagine
Once a year, yeah,
just what you might see on there. You know what I mean? It's so intriguing.
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, all we can do is move forward, right?
Yep. So what's coming up for you in moving forward? I know that you're doing stuff in video space and you're doing some other things. What's on tap for you coming up?
What events do I have coming up?
Yeah.
I'm going to be next Saturday. I'll be at the Whaley House with Detroit Rock City Paranormal, helping out with an investigation, and then that's in Flint, Michigan. And then on Sunday, the 3rd, I will be at the Mid Michigan Paracon at the Holiday Inn in Flint.
Awesome.
And that's an amazing Paracon. I've been to it since it started, and they draw a lot of people in there.
You went there. You were there last year, right, Dan?
Yep, I've gone every year.
Yeah, I remember. When you went there last year.
Are you doing anything
I'll
November
always have
9th?
a table. Yeah, November 9th I will be in Dundee, Michigan, at the Parafest in Dundee at the Old Mill with Katrina Weidman.
We have to
And a bunch
get
of other
you.
fish,
We have to get you down here where we were at last night
Yeah.
while the house is still available. I don't know if you heard us talking about it prior to you joining us, but you know Laura, who worked at the Haldeman and now owns York Ghost Tours. Her business partners purchased a residential home in York, Pennsylvania. That they're getting ready. They're getting ready to remodel it. Okay, it hasn't started yet, but they're either going to rent it out or sell it. House is, it's said to be very active or whatever. We led a public investigation in there last night, and it was
I've actually been in it. I was in it. I was
The
there
Prince-
when I went to the speakeasy.
That's
Yeah.
right, Laura. You know what? The old age is kicking in. Laura just told me that like 2 days ago. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Speak slower to him, Dan.
Yeah, us older
But
folk,
I
Dan.
didn't get to investigate it. I checked it out, and but
Were you
I
listening
had
to?
some investigating, and she just went and checked the other locations out.
Were you listening to the
in
beginning of the show when we opened up?
A little bit, yeah. I got in and I tuned into what I could.
Did you hear the actual audio clip that I played?
No.
All right.
No.
For the people who are listening, I'm gonna play it one more time because this thing is just amazing. It's literally about 4 seconds in. Ernie says nobody's gonna hurt you, and he says a word, and then listen right afterward.
He's not going to hurt you while we're here. Utterly.
Oh my God! Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So what happened was we were all in a room on the second floor, and we could actually hear the door move, and we were all looking down there because the light had just gone off real quick, and it got our attention, and then we heard the eat, and I go running down, and you could actually see the door still moving. It moved at about 30 to 40 degrees right in front of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that was awesome.
What's your big plans Halloween night, man?
My daughter.
Yep. It's all
My
about the
daughter
kid.
and my niece. We're gonna be going trick or treating. We're gonna have a pizza party, and And then I know my dad is coming, my brother-in-law, my sister are coming, and we'll have like a little train of trick-or-treaters and hopefully a few beers or something.
How is it up your way trick or treating where you take your children? Nice.
It's nice. We go to my mother-in-law's house. It's a very very nice neighborhood, and I know a lot of people on the street, and just have a nice little fun time. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit for them.
What's the weather up there where you're at right now? I was thinking about that earlier because here it's like today's like a summer day.
Cold and rainy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's probably in the 40s, and there's wind gusts of like 60, 70 miles an hour during the Bills game today.
Oh wow.
And then downpour. Downpours on and off all day.
Riding over here this evening, I actually had my sunroof open and my air conditioner on in the car.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It was pouring down rain this morning. I mean, like Noah type pouring down rain, and then it just suddenly stopped, and it became a beautiful day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, good for you.
But
Well, we've been blessed. The past week though, we've had really good nice days. Nice,
Right.
Cool nights, warm days. Like perfect fall days.
Yeah,
Dan,
bro.
before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find. I got your Hinsdale hat on right now. Where they can find your merchandise, your books, how they can track you down, follow you down, make their way up to the Hinsdale house. Give everybody all that good information.
I put it all on my one page, DanielKlaes.com, DanielKlaes.com. There'll be links for Wildwood Sanitarium, Hinsdale House, all the events that I'll be at, and an event link to book a Hinsdale House. If you'd like to book it for a private investigation with a team or a group, overnight, you get an overnight for like $300. Mm-hmm. If you can't afford $300, reach out to me on the side and let me know. It's not about the money; it's about getting good people in there and getting evidence for me.
Right.
That's just kind of like standard, and that's what it is.
And for everybody listening. For everybody listening or watching, the money goes to such a good cause.
Yep.
Because this property and this home is it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
great history.
what Dan has done with it is remarkable. I mean, if you wouldn't have purchased it, Dan, how long now would it have been gone?
It would have been gone for over 4 years.
Right. So yeah, it's still
There's
a
a
great
reason
cause,
for it.
and
It's
yeah,
away from being torn down.
yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Well, my friend, we really appreciate you calling in, man. We know you got a busy schedule, and we pulled you. We apologize for pulling you away from the pumpkin carving today. And
I appreciate you guys starting a little later for me. That was awesome.
It's
no worries.
hey,
My pleasure.
It was.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to eat apple crisp, and that would have been horrible.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to.
It'll cost you some apple crisp when we come up here in February, though.
But we will see you. We will see you in February, and we were supposed to come up last year, but some unforeseen personal issues. We had to bail it like 2 weeks prior, so we're looking forward to seeing you and our buddy Chelsea again, and hopefully we can make it down at least. Get our picture taken in front of the Hinsdale house.
I'm like stoked about
I know.
that.
I want to go there so bad. But Dan, you have.
Maybe try to come up the day earlier.
Yeah, we gotta.
Make a night of it.
Yeah, we will do that.
That works.
We appreciate it, Dan, and we will catch you at the next one. And as always, if it's anything we can do for you, our phones are always on. And
vice versa.
it was an honor talking to you.
Always.
We appreciate you sharing your
brother.
story with us and everyone that listens in tonight. So
God bless and be safe, my friend.
we will see you in February, my friend.
All right, we'll see you soon, guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye
Talk
bye.
to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
What an awesome guy.
Oh,
man.
he is awesome. I love Dan. I'm stoked about going up there for real.
I know I have a tendency of rambling, but I can remember watching shows, and I'm talking years ago, about the Hinsdale house before I even was aware of who Dan was, or before he purchased the house. And I remember our first, for those that have been following Paranormal from the beginning, about a week after we formed Paranormal Inc., our great friend Melody, she invited us to the first annual Holistic Fair in Martinsburg, West Virginia. And it was us and Anthony and Dina were there, and Laura and Dan, and Mike King was with us.
Dana
and
Mitchell
Dana
was there.
Mitchell, the whole crew. And Laura was like, "Oh my God, you're going to be so excited. Dan Klaes is going to be there." And I'm like, I heard the name, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
I know, I'm aware of him, but what does he
what does
do?
he do?
And she's like, "Oh my God, he owns the Hinsdale house."
and we both went, what?
I'm like, "You kidding me?" And actually, we posted some pictures. I mean, over the years, but when the holistic fair was over, we led the investigation that night, and it was us and it was Dan,
yep.
because he was talking about his Geo box.
Yep, he
and
brought some cool toys.
We were using the Geo box
Yep,
that
I
night.
remember.
The Geo box is what you see Nick Groff use.
Yep.
It looks like the big antique radio.
Yep.
And it makes all the weird
Noises, yep.
Yeah, it was that cool.
I tried to buy one of those. You know how much they are? $3,000.
Yeah, they're actually they're more than that now. They're on the upscale of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I do believe
I actually was put in touch with the guy who actually makes them.
Right.
And he literally just sold the last one. And if I would have called 3 days before it, I'd actually own one.
Right. Right.
I want one. Bad.
What else is on your mind, man? Well, we got some time.
So, I'm about to buy a new toy. We are actually going to buy a data logger for our set of toys. So I'm excited about that. If you guys are unsure what a data logger is, go to ghoststop.com. It has barometric pressure, it has motion, it has K2, and it actually logs it on a graph for you. So I can actually publish the evidence afterward. I'm like stoked about this new toy. So I'll be ordering that for a early Christmas present for myself. So next year, during our stuff, you'll see me with a new toy.
I like the old school techniques. Anybody wants to buy me any ghost hunting equipment for
Buy him a candle and some tissue.
for Christmas, buy me a thing of baby powder, maybe a pack of balloons, and
There's a lot of jokes there. This is going to be nice.
and I can show you some of the old school techniques. If you want to learn more, read Ted Van Son's book about the old school techniques.
Yep.
I just like that, man. I mean, like last night we did a lot of old school technique investigating.
Right.
And look at the evidence we've come up with, man.
I know.
I mean, it was on the spot. Like we said earlier, we haven't even reviewed anything yet.
Nope.
And we've got so much to talk about just by what we,
Yeah, I can't. That door, that blew my mind.
Now, as far as I just did some quick. Now, I mean, we had recorder set, but I did a lot of just EVP bursts throughout the night. I was trying to keep them between 30 seconds and a minute and a half.
Okay.
Now, we had this one, for instance, and we were in our friend Angelina. She's a young lady I was on the picture with. Her mom brought her. Excuse me. And Angelina likes to use her dowsing rods. So she asked me, she said, "I feel like something's pulling me to the back of the basement." So Angelina and I went to the back of the basement, and she's doing her dowsing rod thing, and I'm doing an EVP burst. And there were footsteps above our heads, but it was the people upstairs.
Fair enough.
You can definitely decipher the difference between the footsteps upstairs and what I captured. I don't remember if she made reference to feeling something behind her, but clearly on the audio, you can hear 2 feet shuffling through the like the dirt or whatever on the floor coming up behind her. Yep. And you can actually hear that there and hear the footsteps above, because I even marked that it was footsteps up above. But it was just little things like that it was just, that we can't figure out. But
that's like the mansion up in Columbia that we went to. We were up there just doing a preliminary on ourselves a couple weeks ago, and we both heard something coming up, and we both turned at the same time. Nothing was there.
Yeah, for those that were at the event on the grand opening event on Locust,
the Samuel Harris Samuel Miller Mansion.
Dave and I went up into that one room where there was a cut in the wall,
and then you look through, and there's no way into it. So
right,
it was for the underground railroad.
So we were standing up there just talking, and had a recorder going, and you could clearly hear someone enter that room.
Yep. Well, you got touched,
and
then I got touched.
Walk up on us, and yeah, that was when what did they? Oh, they poked it. It felt like somebody took one finger and went like this and poked me in the arm.
And he looks at me and goes, "Did you just poke me?" I'm like, and my hands literally when I'm just looking at stuff, I put my hands on my belt, kind of just like that, and I'm like, "No, my hands are on my belt, Ernie." He's like, "You sure you didn't poke me?" I'm like, "Dude, I didn't poke you." So then, as we're sitting there just talking about it, we heard this shuffling coming up on us. We both look, and then literally, I get poked.
Well, the thing was with the shuffling we heard come up on us. The funny thing is, we didn't say nothing to each other.
No,
we were talking. Now we're in the dark, and this place was pitch black when it was daylight outside.
Yep.
So we're standing there looking through this cut in the wall.
And only light was coming from my phone because I was running an EVP on it.
We both are standing there talking, looking through the cut in the wall.
Yep.
We heard the footsteps, and at the same time, we both go
turned
like this and looked.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, hey, Dave, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Or what was that? We both, our
We
instincts
just looked
at
like
the
who's
same
coming
time.
up on us. So
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that's a place to go. It's in Columbia, Pennsylvania.
Who's watching us, man? Let's talk about somebody.
Well, we got Desiree Bowman. Desiree,
I thought you were coming last night. What happened? Messages. Tell us.
Hey, Sue.
Sue watching?
Sue just logged in. Hi, Sue.
Dave, just talk to her live, man. You don't have to type.
Oh, yeah.
What's up,
Hi,
Sue?
Sue. Forgot there was a camera there.
This is our tech guy.
Hey, I got the technical working, I think.
But but seriously though, man, check this book out.
Yep.
I got this from Dan. Oh, it's been a few years ago. You can see he signed it and said nice things about me and autographed it for me. And
yeah, you should have seen how much he bribed him. So yeah, if you go for Dan's gear, www.danielklaes.com, KLASE.com.
KLAES.
LE, I do that. I'm sorry, dyslexic till the world untie. DanielKlaes.com. You can easily find his stuff in there. Help support the cause. So
yeah, everything's going to. It's called the Hinsdale Restoration Project, and trust me when we tell you, everything's going straight to the restoration, the upkeep, and the preservation of that house. And we got Haley sending me a message.
Hi, Haley.
Wait a minute.
Doom, 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 doo, doo, doo.
All right, Haley got she's messaging me now. Let me let her know we're still live.
You know, you can talk to her right through the camera.
I don't know if she's on. I don't know if she's on there.
Send her the link.
Haley Haley did a EVP burst last night, and she got a. This is incredible, but you hear a dog bark.
Yes.
But the
Very
funny thing is, during her walkthrough, she sensed a dog and numerous cats. Several of us also smelled what appeared to be a wet dog when we come down the steps.
And the alcohol.
And the guy was a heavy drinker. Now, the thing is, Haley reviewed her EVP burst session, captured a dog.
Yes,
you
and
can
hear
capture a dog bark.
And there's no dogs in. I mean, the closest dog we could hear when we went out back it sounded like a block or two away. So inside that house, it was like literally, it's a tomb.
Well, she said that, I'll read it. She reviewed the session with the dog and weird whisper thing, because we heard a whisper.
Right, we heard the whispers.
You can hear whispers all through it. So she's going to have to get that to me so I can listen to it.
And I have stuff I can actually amplify it with.
For those of you that may not know Haley, this is Haley right here. And do you see what's on her head? She is wearing a Paranormal Inc. beanie cap.
Yeah, we show the other picture too. I love this picture. Just call me Eileen. She's about yay tall.
Anyway, she was I spoke to her last night, and Haley was such a big what word can I use?
Help. Amazing help.
Yeah,
awesome help.
Because normally we go into these things blind, and with it being a public event, us never being there, she gave us a head start and a heads up on what to target to try to draw things
the
out.
other thing, we actually came across on the EVPs a name named Tina, or on the Spirit Box, a name named Tina. And we actually it was Tina, right?
Oh yeah, I remember you saying this.
Then we actually found one of the people in there said, you saw the name Tina etched into a door then, right? I'm like, no. So apparently it's etched into a door somewhere in there. I haven't found it yet. But
somebody last night saw it. They were upstairs.
They were upstairs somewhere.
Yeah, because we don't know who. Maybe it was squatters. Maybe it was resident. Who knows? But apparently, like, they scratched their names into the.
Yep. So
but that's pretty coincidental though, if you think about it. You know.
All right, gang. Well, we are out of time for the day. So just want to tell everybody thank you for everything you're doing. Again, if you need any tickets to anything. I'm going to put it right back here again. There you go.
You want to tell them who's on our next episode? Oh, hey, Halloween night, 9 p.m. When we're done trick-or-treating and pizza eating and all that good stuff, Dave and I are going to do a special, maybe, it might last an hour. Maybe
15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour or something.
30 minutes to an hour.
Somewhere in there.
We're going to do a special episode. We're not going to have a topic.
No.
This is Halloween night. We're not going to have a topic. We're not going to have a guest. If you have the time, get on the chat board, call us, message us, whatever.
Yep.
We want to hear about what you're doing Halloween, what you did. Maybe send us some picture, anything. It's just going to be a special Halloween episode.
How you scared the hell out of the little kids coming up.
Yeah, we want everybody to join in and just have fun with it. Tell them who's on our next scheduled episode in 2 weeks.
Mr. Ted Van Son from Paratalk Radio and WLFE DB Radio.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. I love Ted. He is like...
Yeah, I think almost every episode I bring up this guy's books.
Yeah.
I mean, they're that good.
He is hysterical. He is amazing. He is awesome.
But above all, that man is very knowledgeable.
Yes.
He knows his stuff. You will enjoy it. It's in 2 weeks. Make sure you check us out. It's Halloween night. It's just going to be a fun episode. We want to hear from everybody what you got going on, what you did, whatever.
Since it's the Halloween season, we're going to close with my worst Halloween joke ever. Why don't pumpkins make very good lovers?
I don't know.
They have Halloweenies.
With
that, we're closing.
See you Halloween night. Have a good week.
Love you guys.